Hello Year 3, it's Tuesday the 19th of January and I'm going to talk you through your RE lesson this morning. So I will just share my screen with you. So please could you write today's date and the WALT into your book. So the WALT for today's lesson is to accurately retell the story of Samuel. And I've just put a picture of Samuel on the board for you to look at while you're copying your date and WALT. So we're just going to take a minute to prepare ourselves for the RE lesson. Today we are starting a new unit of work. So we are going to start the unit of work Revelation. And I've just put a liturgical calendar on the board as well. So can you tell me what colour we are in at the moment? Hopefully you have recognised that we are in ordinary time, so the colour is green. And just take a few moments to think about what Revelation might mean. What do you think we're going to be learning about over the next couple of weeks? So Revelation is when something that was hidden becomes known. So Revelation comes from God and reveals something about God. This is often used to describe the way God is revealed through a dream, a vision, a miracle, experience, or prophecy. So today we are going to focus on a boy called Samuel, and God revealed himself to Samuel, and we're going to learn about what happened. So if we were at school right now, we would be highlighting our assessment grid. So the bullet point that we are working on is the first one. I can accurately retell the story of Samuel and explain its meaning. So tomorrow we're going to think more deeply about what the story meant. Today we're just going to focus on retelling the story of Samuel and remembering the key events. If we're at school right now as well, I'm sure lots of you would be asking me, can I hand out the highlighters? If you've got a highlighter at home and you want to copy that bullet point down, you can into your book. I know how much you love using the highlighters. So the call of Samuel, I'm going to read it to start with, but then I will play a short clip just so you can listen and watch it as well. And hopefully after I've read it and you've watched a video, you will remember the key points from the story. So the call of Samuel. After Samuel's mother had been married some years, she still had no children. So she prayed to God for a child, and she promised that her firstborn child would serve God. Samuel was her firstborn. When Samuel was old enough, she took him to the temple to be a servant to Eli, who was an elderly Jewish priest. It wasn't like today. Children did all kinds of work then, and by going to the temple, Samuel would also have got an education. One night, Eli, whose eyes were becoming so weak that he could barely see, was lying down in his usual place. Samuel was asleep in his own place, but near enough so that if Eli called for him, he would hear. Then the Lord called Samuel. Samuel answered, "Here I am." And thinking it was Eli, he ran to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me." But Eli said, "I did not call. Go back and lie down." So he went and lay down. Again the Lord called, "Samuel." And Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me." "My son," Eli said, "I did not call. Go back and lie down." Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord. The word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him. The Lord called Samuel a third time, and Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me." Then Eli realized that the Lord was calling the boy. So Eli told Samuel, "Go and lie down, and if he calls you, say." Then Samuel said, "Speak, for your servant is listening." So when Samuel heard the voice again, he said, "Speak, your servant is listening." Okay, so that's the call of Samuel. I'm going to play the video now. So just to give you another chance to remember what's happened and try and pick out the key things that we learn from the story.
Stories of the Bible. God speaks to Samuel. This is Samuel.
Hi!
Samuel was the son of Hannah.
Hey, Samuel!
Hannah prayed for God to give her a son, and God did. So Hannah gave Samuel back to God.
See you, Samuel. Bye, Mom!
And Samuel grew up in the temple serving under Eli, the priest.
Hi, Eli!
As Samuel grew up, he learned how to serve God from Eli. Samuel lived in the house of God, but he did not know God or what God's voice sounded like. In those days, messages from God were rare. But one night after Eli had gone to bed, Samuel was sleeping in the tabernacle when suddenly God called out, "Samuel!"
Huh?
Samuel got up and ran to Eli and said, "Did you call me?"
Mommy?
Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel did. Then God called out again, "Samuel!"
Huh?
And again Samuel got up and ran to Eli asking, "Did you call me?"
Mommy?
Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel did. God called Samuel for a third time, "Samuel!"
Huh?
And Samuel went to Eli yet again. After 3 times, Eli realized that God was trying to speak to Samuel. So Eli taught Samuel to say, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening."
Okay.
Samuel went back to bed, and God came and called as before, "Samuel, Samuel!" And Samuel said, "Speak, your servant is listening." God told him many things about what would happen to Israel. As Samuel grew up, God was with him, and everything God spoke through Samuel came true. Samuel was seen as a great prophet of God because he could hear the voice of God, and he listened when God spoke to him.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm just going to go back to the notebook and hopefully you can see my screen again. There we go. So you have had a story of Samuel. I think it wants to play again. Let me just make sure we turn that off. Don't want to hear that one again. There we are. Sorry about that, year 3. So you've had a chance to listen to the story of Samuel and also watch it. So hopefully you can retell and remember the key things that happened. Because your task today is to create your own storyboard for the call of Samuel. So you're going to retell the story, including as much detail as you can remember. Order is extremely important, so we want it to be in order from the start to the end. And your task is to draw a picture and explain what is happening in each picture. So here you will draw your pictures, and then underneath will be your writing. Now, to help you, on your Class Dojo, I have included an example storyboard that you can print out to go into your book, and you can just fill in the missing blanks. So I've already put some of the text in there for you to help you, and then I've included some pictures on this notebook, but on your sheet you don't have the pictures because I'm pretty sure you're all able to draw some pictures to explain the writing. But I just thought I'd make it a little bit easier by popping in some of the key points for you, and then you can just put in the ones that are missing. So the key points that are already in the story, we have, when Samuel was old enough, she took him to a temple to be a servant to Eli, an elderly priest. So she, who do I mean by she? Hopefully you can remember that that would be Samuel's mum. So when Samuel was old enough, she took him to a temple to be a servant to Eli, an elderly priest. So what happened before that in the story? Hopefully you can remember that Samuel's mother really wanted a baby, and she asked God to give her a child, and then she would give that child to serve God. So that would come before in this box. Then you need to think about what happened after Samuel was old enough to go to the temple and be a servant to Eli. Okay, so you need to fill in this one. Then I filled in this one for you. Again, the Lord called Samuel, and Samuel got up and went to Eli. Eli said, I did not call. Go back and lie down. So again, the Lord called. So that might give you a clue as to what you need to put in the box before. So it says, again, the Lord called, which would suggest that the Lord has already called Samuel once already. Then you've got to fill in the next box. And then the last box I filled in for you. So Eli told Samuel, if God called again, to let him know he was listening. So when Samuel hears the voice again, he said, speak, Lord, your servant is listening. So hopefully that's helpful. And then you just need to fill in the missing text and draw a picture in each of those boxes. Okay, we will be tomorrow exploring the story in more detail, thinking about the meaning. But for today, all we want you to do is to retell that story so that you really know it, ready for tomorrow's lesson when we start to unpick what it means. If you have any questions, please just send us a message. I look forward to seeing your storyboards later. Thank you.